Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad where we get together once a week and make a card together. Now this time we are doing a shaker box. Look, those little guys shake in there. And it's a step-up card, and it uses ink sheets, and it is so awesome. Now you can tell by looking at my hands that I've had a lot of inky fun today, so I've tried to wipe them on my pants to make sure that I don't get any ink on anything, but we're gonna have fun. That's all that matters. Inky, Faylene always says, inky hands equal a happy heart, so I'm sure I'm very happy today. The first thing we're going to use today is one of my new step-ups, and the official name is, I have no idea, but, well, that's not really the name, but I think it's You Are So Kind, or Kind Step-Up, but the item number is 660718. It's on our website. Also, we're going to use the Triplet Flowers number 3. So it's Triplet Flowers number 3. We're also going to use white ink sheets and some of my favorite pattern paper, and we're going to have lots of fun. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use some of the candy cardstock, and we are going to die cut the card base. Now, do not be alarmed when you see the heart here or the star here. Don't think, oh my goodness, I'm going to cut that out. No, you're not going to. That's just so I could give you extra pieces in your kit. So there is a heart and a star that fit on there, but we're not going to use those. So we're going to take our cutting pad, we're going to run this through the machine. Now these dies will work in the Big Shot, the Big Kick, the Vagabond, the Big Shot Plus, the Big Shot Pro, and other competitors' machines. Some competitors' machines, though, will need the longer cutting pads. So now I've cut out, and I am using my extended magnetic platform and my extended cutting pads. So now I have the card base. I get all the extra pads that we can't use. And I hope I have the paper in here. We might have to use, oh, there it is. That's it, yep. That was my fault. So we're gonna pull that out, and this is in, I don't even know which collection this is in. We'll have it on the website. And we are going to lay that down, and then we're going to layer the layering piece. We're gonna lay that down, but we don't want a speed bump, and that would be a speed bump. So we're gonna turn that paper and the die ever so slightly. I do have some hanging over, and we don't want it to hang over. You know why? Because the paper will move when it goes through the machine. So we're just gonna trim off a little bit of that, or you could tear it. I'm being professional, trying to be professional by cutting it. We're gonna lay that down. We want this die to be straight because we want those hexagons to be straight. If I did it like that, the hexagons wouldn't be very straight on the card, would they? So we're gonna line that up there. And then we also need these layering pieces here. Now that is 2 of these, so I'm going to die cut one and then die cut the other. Or I could get tricky and check this out. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take some extra, oh, you know what? We gotta go this way. I'm gonna take some extra piece because this is called lazy. When you do this, this means you're lazy. So I am going to cut 2 at a time so I don't have to run it through twice. So I'm just gonna layer that paper right there, and now we're ready to go. So funny. Okay, we're all good. We're gonna run this all through at the same time because Stephanie's lazy. And then we're gonna have all of the layering pieces needed. Okay, there's one, and then I cut 2 of those little rectangles, so we have that as well. And now let's go ahead and add it to our card. Let's get some room here. So we're gonna add this. Now I actually taught this card at a store. Sometimes when I travel, I teach fun cards, and I thought, you know what? We need to do this for Stephanie's Stamp Pad because, you know, it was already made, and why invent the wheel if we already have a card that's really fun that people love, that we want everybody to be able to see it. So let's add this one, add that one, and these are the cute little layers. Now we're gonna fold it. Now all of the step-up cards are folded the exact same way. You wanna find the center fold that's gonna fold the main part of the card. We're gonna ignore the steps for now. We're just simply gonna fold, and look how funny it looks, that's okay. We're gonna fold there. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our stair steps. We're gonna start at the front, and we're gonna make that a mountain fold. Then we're gonna have in the back a valley fold, just like that. Then we're gonna have another mountain up here. Easy peasy, see that? Again, we're gonna do mountain, then valley, then mountain, then mountain. And there, easy peasy. Remember the olden days when we would take a straight knife and get a ruler and say, okay, I need 1.34 inches, cut. Oh, I cut it too much, throw that away. Try it again, and do it again and again and again. Now, look how easy peasy that was. Amazing, isn't it? Oh, die cutting is so awesome. Now, let's work on our shaker box. What we've done already is we have die cut the You Are So Kind die, and the shadow die at the same time out of black Fun Foam. We have Sizzix adhesive on the back, and we're gonna give it a little, and that didn't work very good, did it? Okay, so then what we're gonna do is we are going to use our scissors. Now, I've also already cut a pink square out of the back of this square, okay? All of these dies so far are coming out of this one kit. So what we're gonna do is we are going to, and it's easier if we do this, we're gonna peel it, because some of those pieces will come out, some won't, but well, most didn't, that was nice. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna make our shaker box. We are simply going to trim any of the pieces. We're literally trimming out the words and all the extra pieces. We literally just want the frame of this. So we're just trimming out all the words. It looks like we're doing a lot of weird things, but we only kind of are. But we're just trimming out those words and the hearts. 4 main cuts, that's all we're doing. And sticky little suckers. Okay. And I probably shouldn't have taken the adhesive off, so when you do yours, don't take the adhesive off yet. Okay. Ah, I tore it, but you know what? That's okay, because no one's gonna see this. That's the beauty of this. This is just so my sequins do not make a mess. So this inside is trash. I have a trash can right there. And now I have a frame. Now yours hopefully won't be torn. Mine's torn, but that's okay, because no one's gonna see it. This is just, some people use foam tape. You can use foam tape for this. I am lazy and I feel like this is much faster than getting a whole bunch of pieces of foam tape. And sometimes I like to do circle dies instead, and it's hard to do foam tape with circle dies. So that's why I use Fun Foam. Now, Fun Foam, here's a tip though. Fun Foam will stretch when you run it through the machine ever so slightly. So you'll need to trim it down just a little if needed. So I'm just gonna trim it where I messed up and tore it. But sometimes you need to trim the sides, like see here, right here, it's a little, it goes over, and you probably can't even see in the video. But I'm just gonna trim a little bit there, because like I said, it does stretch a little bit, because remember, you're squishing it, and so it will get a little big. Now I have the base of my shaker card. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add, oh, and I have rhinestones. Sometimes I use sequins, but this one has rhinestones. So we're gonna add a whole bunch of little rhinestones. Oh, they're so pretty. Tiffany kitted this one for me, so I have it all ready to go. So we're gonna add this. Look how many rhinestones we got, wow. This was a fun class, that's why I wanted to share it with you. And some of these are upside down, which is not the end of the world, but I will flip them all. Okay, so now we've made that. Now we need to do another thing. With the same dies, we're gonna do 2 different things. One, we are going to die cut our clear acetate. And it's cute because Tiff puts a little piece of blue on there so you can find it when it's on your table, because chances are you won't be able to find it if it's on your table. Now we want it to be the same size as our base, so that's just this square here. So we're gonna run that through, and you'll see I put a piece of paper below it. That is because acetate cuts better when it has cardstock behind it. Why, I'm not sure, and did you notice I did a speed bump? Naughty, naughty. Okay, but, and acetate is very loud when you cut it. It's so funny. Okay, so now I have a window, the right size. Then what I'm going to do is I need to die cut the front. So I'm going to use the You Are So Kind, and then I'm going to use this square die, and I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to die cut it. That's going to create the frame. I'm gonna run this through. Again, all of these pieces so far are in that kit. Now, because this is a lot of blade, I just go back. That way I make sure that I really have it. And if I had a roller brush handy, this would be a fine time to pop all those extra pieces out, but I don't, so we'll go like this. Get out most of them. And, ooh, that one really flew. And then I do have a paper die pick, paper piercer, whatever you want to call it, to get all the extra pieces out. And this would have been a fantastic time to have Sizzix adhesive on the back, but Stephanie didn't think ahead. Now what we're going to do is we're going to finish our shaker box. I usually use liquid adhesive, so let's find some liquid adhesive. And of course, Stephanie doesn't have liquid adhesive handy because that would be too easy. Isn't that funny? The things that, oh gosh. Okay, we will add non-liquid adhesive. I do not recommend this. I want you to use real liquid adhesive. And I always say it when I taught kindergarten, I always said dot, dot, not a lot, because you don't want to use a lot of liquid adhesive. But I highly recommend liquid adhesive, it's better. Liquid adhesive meaning white glue or clear glue. So I've added adhesive to this. We're gonna lay that next on top. That's creating our window. And I put this on the opposite way. This is a little bit more than a square, so it's more of a, not square. Such a dork. You know, if you can't laugh at yourself, why bother getting out of bed? Okay, now we're gonna add adhesive to the back of this. Again, what did Stephanie say? You should have used Sizzix adhesive on the back, so I hope you did. And I put that on the, oh, that was dumb. That was dumb. I had adhesive on that already. So let's do this. Okay, so now we're adding, see, if you don't use Sizzix adhesive on the back of these little pieces, you're just gonna run into trouble. And then you're gonna cry. You'll cry in your Diet Coke like I will. And I'm gonna poke out a couple little extra pieces that didn't, okay, that looks good. Okay. Now we're gonna add that on top. Now, when you do liquid adhesive with this, do not shake it until it is dry. In class, I tell people to use liquid adhesive, and then they always wanna shake it, and I say, rule number 1, do not shake it until it is dry. Because I use dry adhesive, I can shake it. Listen, isn't that cute? And all the little rhinestones are just floating in there. They're so fun. Now we've created our little shaker, so we can add adhesive to that. Although I'm not gonna add adhesive to the bottom because I'm later gonna add ribbon underneath that. So I'm gonna add my cute little shaker box there. How easy peasy was that shaker box, right? So simple. Now let's add our pink ribbon because we can. And we're gonna wrap it just around this one panel. Then we're gonna talk about ink sheets. Dun, 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 dun. Now I'm gonna go under my square, so that's why I didn't add adhesive right there. And then we're gonna tie a little ribbon. This is so fun. I love this card. Okay. Tie our little ribbon. Dun, dun. Now if you don't know how to tie bows, go to my video section and search bow. You can search our videos, by the way. Did you know that? Then you are going to find a video on how to tie bows that my mom taught me how to do. And Holly is an expert bow tire. Is that a word? Okay, now, see, okay, there's our cute little bow. Now we're gonna do our flower. Ink sheets, ding, ding, ding. Ink sheets are perfect for triplets because triplets have that shadow dye. You want to always use ink sheets when you have a shadow dye because ink sheets turn any stamp, I'm sorry, let me say that again. Ink sheets turn any thin dye into a stamp. So we are going to turn this dye into a stamp. See how we've done it here? See the white? That is the ink sheet ink. I'm going to use this dye, and the sandwich is magnetic platform, cutting pad, cardstock, ink sheet. Now there's two pieces. There's a carrier sheet and a piece of ink sheet. The carrier sheet is just wax paper. That's saved for something else. The ink sheet is shiny on one side and dull on the other. Shiny side is always up. So we're gonna do shiny side. Then we're gonna lay our die face down. Now I'm not gonna go all the way to the edge because I'm gonna shadow cut this later. So I wanna go off to the side, but I wanna use all my ink sheet. So I'm gonna go like this and like this. So I use all my ink sheet in the corner, but I have enough pink all the way around to die cut it later. Does that make sense? I want to use all my ink sheet, but I want to have pink all the way around, so I'm going to do it like that. Now, if I was going to cut, what would I do? I would grab a cutting pad, lay that down, and run it through the machine to cut it. I don't want to cut. I want to transfer ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Sizzix ink transfer pad. The Sizzix ink transfer pad. It's gray on one side and has this fancy label on the other. I am doing it differently than the label, okay? I'm breaking all the rules. I'm a rule breaker. I do this differently than the front, okay? So don't look at the instructions. Some of you all of a sudden decided to start reading directions and notice that I did this differently. I do this differently. I make my sandwich this way. Magnetic platform, cutting pad, cardstock, ink sheet, shiny side up, die, face down, ink sheet, transfer pad, okay? Running that through the machine. It's gonna feel like you're doing nothing. You're gonna go, nothing happened. But wait, we're gonna lift that up and you'll see something looks different. We're gonna peel that up. Ah, look at that, isn't that awesome? Isn't that fun? We've transferred ink. Now I can use this ink sheet for other things. We're gonna put that off to the side. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna find the shadow die. We're gonna lay that around it. Look at this, do you see where I'm going with this? Now we're gonna die cut this. Am I gonna get my transfer pad? No, because I'm gonna get my cutting pad. I'm gonna cut. Lay that down and run that through. That's how easy ink sheets are. Now they come in gold, silver, white, and black. Coming soon, more colors, so stay tuned for that. And there's just a little goober on there, I'm getting it off. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our cute little extra flowers. So we have this little extra flower here, and he has adhesive on the back that Tiffany already did for me. Then we have this cute little flower here. It does not have a hole. I'm using the top part of my secret weapon and the paper piercer that came with it to poke a hole. That's what this textured piece is for. I'm gonna use a brad, and we are almost done. And this doesn't have a hole in the back one, so I'm gonna just poke a little hole. Do not poke down here. That's where your stamp, you're gonna poke up here. Then we're gonna drop that in there. Look at how easy peasy this card was, and so fancy-wancy too, huh? And we're gonna open up our brad, add some adhesive to this. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna use a Zot because I am going to just add it in a couple spots. One more. We're gonna add it on top, oops, wrong one. We're gonna, oh, I did my bow on a different side. We're gonna add our little flower right there, and look at how fantastic that shaker box is. So we did a step up, we did a shaker box, and we did ink sheets, all in the same card. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of, what episode is this? Stephanie Stamp Pad. I'll see you again next week where we'll create another new card. Bye-bye.